Hello, my name is Stephanie Nash. I'm the artistic director of the Northern Kentucky Community Chorus, and I have with me Sage Shurman.
Hi,
Welcome.
Stephanie. Thank you for having me.
Sage is our young composer that we have had the privilege of working with. She wrote a piece for us as part of the 25 for 25 choral project that the May Festival has commissioned. She lives in Los Angeles and is a senior in high school. And this has been a great learning experience and project both for Northern Kentucky Community Chorus and for Sage. So Sage, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you decide you wanted to be a composer? What interested you in this art form?
Yeah, sure. So, I've always loved music since I was really little. When I was 3, I begged my parents to let me play the piano. My brother played the piano and I wanted to be just like him. So I played piano really competitively until I was about 11. And that's actually when my piano teacher died, which was really unfortunate. And he had like a really big influence on my life. And I didn't feel like playing piano was the same anymore, like as an 11-year-old trying to deal with that. So I was kind of looking for other compositional outlets, or not composite, other musical outlets. And that's when I found composition. And I didn't really take it seriously then. It was kind of just me messing around on the piano. But then I actually went to this concerto concert, and I was playing a piano concerto on that concert, but one of the other students on the concert had written an orchestra piece, and that was one of the first times I had really registered in my brain like what it meant to be a composer, and that like kids my age could be a composer. So I talked to the kid that wrote the orchestra piece after the concert, and then his composition teacher was there, so I met him, and his name is Dr. Ian Krause, and he's still my private composition teacher. So we had a little bond then, but really my composition started to take off in high school, and that started with Luna Labs, which I did my freshman year.
So Luna Lab, how did you get connected with them? Because that's a national organization.
Right,
that's not just
right.
local for you in California.
Yeah, so it was kind of out on a limb. One of my dad's friends named Annette Ermshar just told me, "Oh, Sage, like you should apply to Luna Labs." And I was like, okay, why not? Seems easy enough. So I sent in that application, and I wasn't expecting much. I hadn't really had compositional experience, but luckily for me, they saw potential and they accepted me as one of their 5 fellows. And I got to be a part of that. So Luna Composition Lab, it's this program for women and non-binary and non-gender conforming composers. And basically you get a year of mentorship with a Luna Lab mentor, and it's like lessons twice a month, and you get to workshop a piece. So I workshopped a piano trio called Enchanted, which ended up getting played by members of the Los Angeles Chamber Orchestra. And it was a really exciting experience for me. It was actually the first time I'd ever had a live performance of one of my pieces. Everything that I had submitted to be a part of Luna Labs had just been MIDI recordings, because I'd never had the opportunity to.
And that was with a professional group.
Yeah, they were phenomenal. It was wild. I'm so grateful for that experience. And Luna Lab for me, it's been kind of like a gift that just keeps on giving. Because I was a Luna Lab fellow my freshman year, and now I'm a high school senior, and I'm doing this May Festival commission and getting to work with the Northern Kentucky Community Chorus, and it's all part of Luna Lab. They actually got me another commission. Got me as they offered up a kind of contest for another composition commission, and that was with Hub New Music. So I actually was commissioned by Hub New Music as well, and they're this Grammy nominated group that used to be based out of Boston. They're kind of spreading out now, but I had a premiere of that recently too, and it's all because of Luna Lab. So I'm incredibly thankful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, this program.
So this was your first choral piece that you have written.
Yes.
So tell me what challenges you had with this when you first started conceiving it. I know part of it was you couldn't find a public domain text that you wanted.
Yeah, so that really was the main part of it. I was told that this program was going to be about Easter and spring, and I wanted to do something with that. So I'm like scouring the internet for a text that I find interesting, but all the kind of texts that I liked the most were not in the public domain, and everything else just seemed a little bit, not derivative, that's the wrong word for it, but just like it had been done before. And I guess as a modern composer that's trying to like say big things and like make art that hasn't been made before, I guess I wanted to spin it in a different way. So I decided to write my own text. So my piece is called Spring is My Complicity, and it's basically about climate change, and Mother Earth goes on this long soliloquy about how she feels like she's responsible for climate change and her own death because she is giving humans spring every year, and she's giving people the false hope that everything's okay. And because they have that false hope, they keep killing her, and they don't change their actions. So she feels like she's created spoiled children by giving us spring. So writing that text was quite difficult for me. I'd written a lot of things, and one thing I quickly realized was like, you can't just write whatever's on your mind. You have to think about how you're going to set that text to music. So I drafted and redrafted, and I kind of wrote lyrics and wrote music simultaneously almost. And I thought a lot about like the structure of the piece, and like what I wanted to be the focal point, and how I wanted the piece to build and trail off. And I really like how the piece ends. It ends in like this alto solo, which in the alto is supposed to be like the embodiment of Mother Earth. And it's this kind of solemn resignation that hopefully is really poignant.
Yeah, we hope so too. Learning, as you said, Luna Lab continues to help you learn. And by doing this first choral piece, and by coming to hear us soon on March 19th at Christ Church Cathedral, you'll get to be surrounded by a bunch of choral groups. And that I expect will be a big learning, just to listen and to hear what voices do with new music.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of choirs aren't necessarily familiar with new ways of hearing harmonies and new ways of singing phrases. So putting this together in a teaching moment, both for my singers and for you as a young composer, I think is a brilliant combination.
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny because the material that I have right now is like dissonant and new, and is something like that is modern and hard to sing, but it was actually much more dissonant and intense and difficult. And that was something like I really had to work on toning back, and like doing things like if there's a chord like if the singers are going to sing a chord, maybe try to put that chord in the piano. I actually had this whole piano part that was like totally not in the same key that the singers were
that
singing.
wouldn't have helped us very much.
No, and I had to go through the learning process of like, I showed it to one of my teachers, and they're like, this is not going to go well. Like, this is like, you're kind of going to have to rethink how you do this. So it's definitely been a learning process for me too.
So we hope that you will join us on March 19th at Christ Church Cathedral. The Community Choral Showcase starts at 2:00. There will be 22 ensembles, each one premiering a brand new commissioned piece by one of these young women composers. The whole afternoon, starting at 2:00, is free. So tell your friends, and we hope to see you there.
Hope to see you there.